Thank you, Rosie. Matt Wilkinson waiting to find out who he's going to compete against in that last heat of the Quiksilver Pro, Kolohe Andino, or the injury replacement, Stuart Kennedy, who has just been on a mission to take down surfing's biggest names in this contest. Should be a good fight. Both these guys, they have the same kind of moves. Really explosive. Kolohe with those air reverses probably gets a little bit more height, but Stu Kennedy has been one of the quickest surfers in the mix here at the Quiksilver Pro and really announced his arrival to the world stage in fine fashion. Here he goes on his second wave. Had a 2.33 in his last wave. Pretty solid there from Stu, but just loses the foam climb. That wave was one of those swirl lines that split in two and didn't reach the inside. Andino out the back now. Let's see what he can do. Nice slicing carve. Both these guys, Ross, have been so sharp with their rail turns, really whipping the tail around. He could be leading the ratings, coming from 12th position on the QS last year to possibly the #1 spot.
And where Stu's,
would be ridiculous.
It'd be ridiculous. Just an amazing story. But Ronnie, you can confirm this. Well, let's get back to that.
Kolohe Andino just having a look at this one.
Where Stewie's positioned on the replacement card, he is most likely going to get into the majority of the events this year. So even though he didn't really get his seat on a CT this year, it's looking good for him.
Second alternate call up. So Adam Melling, the first surfer to miss out on qualification by the CT. The alternate spot goes to him first, as we see Stuart Kennedy getting started. Nice wall stretching out, drives up into this section, just gets there a little late and goes down. But Stu Kennedy, he is the second alternate. So straight away, there's at least 5 events that Stu Kennedy's going to get the call up in. With Pete Durbridge also likely to miss the first half of the season. Here's Stu on the inside. We've seen a lot of those moves. It's been a go-to, and it is a smart option in this lineup at the moment because there's some flatter sections and offshore wind, and the airs aren't that easy to execute. So Stu Kennedy unloading.
I mean, it's one of the best moves you can do with the amount of swell that's in the water, the shape of the wave. It's exciting, it's explosive, and basically you're just jamming a big old nose pick right in that tiny little spot.
It's really exciting. Just you're not going to get a lot of height if you go to the air on those moves.
That's right. And you know, you're constricted out here. It's a tight little space to work with. So, you know, if you have this big open face, then that opens up the book of maneuvers. You can do, you know, a big air, a layback snap, tail slide carve, whatever. But when you have that constricted, tight little transition, that is a really fast track to big points.
Well, just under 21 minutes to go, and the scores coming through for Stuart Kennedy, a 5.5. He's out in front, but Kolohe Andino definitely in a position to turn this heat at any stage. He just needs a 7.93. It looks like he is going to swing. So Kolohe Andino looking to answer back to Stuart Kennedy, and he does so with a reverse of his own. So that is the first turn. Just flowing now. These surfers are taking a chance on these waves linking through to the inside. Sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't. You can see some strapping on Kolohe's front foot. Also persevering through injury in this event. And this wave, it has some wall to work with on the inside and a solid hit to the lip there. He drifts that tail, but just gets hung up in the lip for a while there. So that won't turn the judges on too much, but he is still looking to recover here, and there is a clean, powerful wrap on the end section.
At the end of that wave, Kolohe's legs were on fire, and that's why you saw just a little buckle, an awkward lean back, but give him credit. He got back up and finished it with a nice carve.
And despite a wobbly second last turn, finished this wave off with a big carve.
Well, not the cleanest version of that move for Kolohe Andino, but what I like about it is he could have scaled back, just went for a tag or an off the lip. Instead, he's showing the judges, hey, I'm going to throw risk into the first move. And that's all about commitment. You know, you're going to tick off the boxes in the criteria. Kolohe's done that. And you can see this wave is so long, and it doesn't have a ton of power, so you're using a lot of energy in your legs to create your own speed. And that's where he buckles right here. His legs are burning. but I love the fact that he grinded it out and then whipped into one more solid turn. This is a better effort right here, and it's going to leave something positive for the judges to look at.
Love that turn from Andino.
He went the first one, and Stewie got the better wave behind and got him in the last minute, but a lot of positives for John. He hasn't got past round 3 in this event, so it's a great start for him.
All right, we've got live action out in the lineup, and it's Kolohe and Andino just looking for a 3.33 now to move into the lead. And a good chance with swift turns like this. He's going to get that number. That wave, it was a tough one to surf. He was kind of chasing down the sections, but still got a bit of work done, Ross, and that should see him into the #1 position.
Yeah, the reason why that wave was so tough, it had a very difficult wall on it to read. It was long and extended, but you could see about half that ride, Kolohe was trying to match his rhythm, his pace with that lip line so that he could bottom turn in the right zone. So watch Kolohe right here. He's just trying to read it. Right here, he's trying to settle in. Okay, where am I going to pick my spot to attack? Now he says, okay, pick up the space. So he kind of mistimed it. You know, he waited too long, and all of a sudden now he's playing catch up. So he's just one beat behind the rhythm of that wave. And as a result, his maneuvers were a little bit forced.
But still, it was enough to get him a 4.4 and see him into the #1 position. Stu Kennedy now back in second place, chasing a 5.08 with just on 12.5 minutes to go. As has Kolohe and Andino. And brother takes off once again. Throws the tail on the first turn, but his back foot slipped off. Stu Kennedy had a look at a wave. Would prefer to keep priority at this stage of the game.
Well, Kolohe and Andino, obviously, he didn't want that to go down, but the good news for him, he didn't squander a whole lot of points. That wave was not a keeper.
So Andino, without priority on the inside, picks this one off. Looking to increase his lead by bettering a 4.4. And he's got a good section to work with here, and he deals with it well, throws his board above the lip and into a reverse. Still working. And he gets another opportunity to take to the sky, but can't stick this effort.
He was spot on that first reverse, really seamless. So the judges will definitely, you know, throw down a few solid points for that one move alone.
But Andino is getting his wave count up. He's been busy. This is his 10th ride, and he is smashing it as he throws a tidy reverse to finish. And that's the first time, Stuart, we've seen that little bit of attitude from Kolohe after that last turn. He liked the feel of that one.
Attitude in the form of sucking some water out of his mustache. That was a pretty cool claim there from brother, but you can't help but to feel the energy there. That was a really solid way to finish a wave. Another big reverse from Kolohe.
Well, this should be a pretty solid number with 5.5 minutes to go. Stu Kennedy, he's caught a few less waves than Kolohe, but during the break he had this one.
Look at this little runner. That is one of the cleanest lines we've seen all day. You can see how solid that wave is. It's a double up. So what happens is it has a lot of energy, and Stewie's been on point with utilizing that energy. And right there, that was as square as an off the lip gets. Totally utilized every ounce of that wave. So even though it was just a small one, I love the fact that it had some punch. So he should be able to crawl back in his heat. But here's the bad news for Stewie. Right when he was kind of tagging his wave to death, out behind him, brother kind of stole the show with a big time move. Here he is again, stomping on that tail, trying to match the rhythm of the wave, and that's that nice mix-up. Big rail turn carve, waxing up that cutback, just kind of waiting for that big time section. There's that mix-up again, so he's changing it up nicely, and there's the waft. Picks the nose. Again, such a high-risk maneuver. The judges will take notice.
The judges liked it. A solid score coming through for Kennedy just now, an 8.7. But we are still waiting on numbers for Andino.
That's a big score. I didn't see that coming. I really like the way he surfed on it, but that's a big-time score.
Well, Stu Kennedy not paying attention to Andino here. But Kolohe keeped out. And Stuart just leans into this thing, drifts that tail out once again. This wave looks like it might be falling asleep. Stewie's just caught in the foam there, but he wasn't concentrating on what Andino was doing behind the rock. And I think he just saw brother there and quickly paddled into it, thinking that Kolohe was into a gem.
Right, he didn't have time to look to his right and see what was down the line. He just had to kind of protect.
Well, Stu Kennedy up on the inside now without priority. Takes this wave. Finding these steeper walls on the inside. This one looks like it's not going to last long though. So he has to get some big turns done. A couple of solid hits, but he's looking to improve on a 5.5.
So score has yet to drop, right, for Kolohe Andino. And if that's the case, he needs a 7.98 for his last wave.
The vibe is that he should get the number. I mean, he had a great variety of maneuvers. He showed a lot of power.
Taller wave.
Mixed it up.
Mixed it up. He for sure mixed it up. He had 3 or 4 different types of maneuvers, long extended carves, but he really did need something like this to cap it off, and he got it done. That's an exciting big time move.
And it is going to be borderline as we imagined. And he just gets the score he needs. An 8-point ride, so needed a high 7. An 8-point ride is what dropped. And look at Kolohe now, just looking for Stu Kennedy. And they should arrive back at the takeoff zone on the inside there about the same time. This is a great news for Andino fans.
Huge.
Andino, you think back to that heat with Stu Kennedy and John. Andino has to go this wave. He takes off, and Stu Kennedy, he is just stuck there in the foam. 5 seconds to go, and it looks like Kolohe is heading for his second final on the championship tour, and he will fight it out against another competitor looking for his first win, Matt Wilkinson. Stu Kennedy's run, it comes to a close, but amazing what he was able to achieve here, and just about every surfer on the CT can go give Stu Kennedy a big slap on the back, because he has completely thrown the world title race into a spin with his run.